Good evening, it's Sunday 9:51, and this is the weekly analysis for XAUUSD and other pairs. So for last week's candle swept below the previous week's low, so we term that as a liquidity sweep. And for those who have been following, liquidity rests below old lows and old highs. So if you've had a liquidity sweep below the last week's candle, that means liquidity is going to be placed above the week's candle, and that's where price is going to try to reach. And that's what it was doing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But Friday couldn't reach the high of the weekly candle. It could not take it out, so that's where we'll aim to hit when immediately the market opens, because Sunday's trading day opens with very impulsive moves. So the high is at 5119.21. Where liquidity is resting. Okay, so this is the weekly chart. This is exactly how it looks. The impulsive sell, that's when people were saying the market has crashed, gold market has crashed, and blah blah blah. The less informed, they just wake up and see things online and they start talking plenty. No, market was rebalancing. It was rebalancing. Of course, for those who control the market, it was a wealth transfer. They were transferring the money they've made from all the longs that was happening in the gold market, because they know that when the public tries to jump into the moving market, that's when they should watch. They should sink the market, so that the public will lose their money, and they will sweep the public's money into their pockets. So for those that are informed, they know what happened is what is called a wealth transfer. But let's stick to the regular jargon that we speak. So price came all the way down to the bullish order block. That's this orange down close candle, and then immediately we saw a sharp price movement upwards. This is to inform us that they're intending on repricing the price upwards. They're intending on resending the price upwards. It's supposed to go up and then take out these highs. So my next target for gold will be somewhere around 6,000, but it's not confirmed right now because we can't really tell the exact market movement until it gives us clues on what we should expect from it. So last week's candle swept the previous week's low, as I mentioned earlier, and then it was going all the way to the high. So what we do is we go on the daily time frame. And then what do we see? You can see that you can see over here that market came to discount position and then was repricing higher. So this is just a continuation of price entering the discount position. It points below equilibrium. If I place the optimal trade entry equilibrium, you will see where equilibrium was lying. So equilibrium lies over here. That's the 50% level. It went below the equilibrium down onto the 62% level, and then started repricing higher. It came down again over here, but look at what happened. Pay attention to what happened. This is the weekly low. So if you go on the weekly time frame, you just see a wick. But this is how it looks on the 1 day time frame. You can see that price took out this low, and then over here is very, very clear because you can now point to this candle as an order block. Why? Because it went above this candle with impulse, and and that's what we always look for to determine a bias. We want to see that price intentionally wants to go up, so we can put our line here and then name here as what, as a support, a resistance turned support. You understand? See how price broke through this candle, broke through this high. You can see that, right? And then this low also took out the previous week's low. So yes, exactly what I was trying to do. So this is what we do. Took out this low and then was started repricing higher. So this is what, this is a short-term low. Yes, this is a short-term low. That is a low with one lower high or two lower highs beside it, and this is its one lower high, another lower high. It's a swing low or a swing low. Upon seeing that market is trying to reprice higher, what happens? It went up, took out this high, and then retraced a little bit, and then it consolidated over here. The consolidation is what we are going to be looking into. This is a consolidation. We're trying to find out if price is likely going to come back into that zone before what? Before repricing higher. And then what do we see on the lower time frame? You can see that in the 4-hour time frame, you can see that price had already entered this zone. You see, and then it was going straight for the previous week's high, which is delineated over here. Exactly. So I'm speculating that the Sunday open is going to inject a lot of liquidity into the market. So this place is going to be a gap. We're going to gap through the high over here and then create a new high and then start moving on from there. So that's my view for XAUUSD. Now let's go to Bitcoin. Told my friend some time ago that Bitcoin is going to sell, it's going to go below 80k, and he laughed at me. And right now, what's Bitcoin's price? Bitcoin's price is 67k. He came back to tell me that if he had known, he should have sold. I told you, bro, there's no if you had known in this case, because I told you to sell. But the current price movement of Bitcoin is giving me an indication that it's going to sweep this previous week's low. You can see this particular low here, right? Yes, it's going to sweep this low. So I'm expecting a short-term bullish. Let me see the price, 65078.00. Yes, it's going to sweep this low. As to how far it will go below this low, I can't tell now because it's consolidating, and then for consolidations you look for price to take out the previous lows and then the previous highs. So that's all we should be looking for in Bitcoin. Let's go to the daily time frame. 1 day exactly. It's not showing any pause. It's not showing any up movement with force. It doesn't want to go up. It's not giving us a clear indication that market makers want to reprice price higher. So that's all we are going to be looking out for price to take out the previous week's low, and then after that we'll be waiting for more clues into what price is trying to do. Then we take our decisions from there. The next one is silver, XAGUSD. I did this setup 2 weeks ago, and then it's now playing out. So the next target for silver for me is this high where I've written MSS. That's a market structure shift. In other words, I've given a predetermined mark in price that whenever it goes, that if it should go all the way up and break above this high with pause, then we are changing market structure into what? Into a buy narrative. That means we are going to be looking to buy silver and then make some cool cash off of that. Okay. Then we go to no, I don't do Euro USD. We go to GBPUSD. GBPUSD surprised me because I was thinking immediately it takes out this low, it's going to continue going up. But look what happened. After taking out this low, it came down again and then made another run down before trying to reprice higher. So what I'm going to say, okay, if you go to the weekly time frame, it's more clearer because it was digging into this order block. And then when you go on the daily time frame, you can see the order block, it came all the way to dig into, all the way down to dig into, and this is the order block. We'll be looking for a overbought condition with a drawdown to a discount level. And if we see that, then we can start buying our pound versus dollar. I'm looking for it to shift or to break above this high with impulse. If it does that, yes, if it does that, then we can change our narrative from a sell market to a buy market. It's already evident here that market is not trying to dig lower because there are a lot of wicks here. It should tell you that there's a lot of price action there. The market makers are trying to reprice the price of GBPUSD higher, not lower, because there's a lot of wicks. If you see a bearish or a clear bearish market, you would be able to spot it early. Why? Because the candles are heavy and they close close to the low. They don't close above the low. They don't have lots of wicks. You can see over here too that when it was going up, it started injecting more wicks into the market, and that's what we are seeing here. So we can see, or it's safe to say, the price is going to, or is likely going to go higher. Yes, so that'll be all for our weekly analysis, and I hope to see prices respond to the levels we've called for it to go to. So yes, bullish XAUUSD, bearish Bitcoin, bullish silver, and then bullish GBPUSD. I hope this helps in your analysis. Good luck and good trading.